All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. I'd like to give the honors unto the apostles and the artists of Great Millstone, Orland is true from, and I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. And today, I just want to simply title this lesson, The Plague of Darkness. So, I just want to go into the account of, ancient Egypt, being plagued with darkness, which is also, foreshadowing of what's going to come to America as well. So, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and straight to the point. I'm going to go to the book of Exodus, chapter 10, and I'm going to start at verse 21. And the headline reads, Darkness over the land. Excuse me, Slakia. This is Exodus 10 and 21. And it says, And the Lord said unto Moses, Stretch out thine hand toward heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt. So yes, this darkness was so thick, that it could be felt, as it said, Verse 22, and Moses Moses stretched forth his hand toward heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. They saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings. So yes, wherever the children of Israel were, they had light. But the Egyptians, they couldn't see. They were in that thick darkness, because the Lord was plaguing them. Ultimately because, the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart because he wouldn't let the children of Israel go. Verse 24, and Pharaoh called unto Moses and said, Go ye, serve the Lord. Only let your flocks and your herds be stayed. Let your little ones also go with you. And Moses said, Thou must give us also sacrifices and burnt offerings, that we may sacrifice unto the Lord our power. Our cattle also shall go with us. There shall not an hoof be left behind. Therefore must we take to serve the Lord our power, and we know not with what we must serve the Lord until we come thither. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not let them go. And Pharaoh said unto him, Get thee from me, take heed to thyself, see my face no more, for in the day thou seest my face, thou shalt die. And Moses said, Thou hast spoken well. I will see thy face again no more. So yes, the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he didn't want to let the children of Israel go. So now I'm going to jump to the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, which is pretty much giving, a more detailed version of what exactly was going on, So this is book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, and it says, For great are thy judgments, and cannot be expressed. Therefore, unnurtured souls have erred. For when unrighteous men thought to oppress when unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation, they being shut up in their houses, the prisoners of darkness and fettered with the bonds of a long night, lay there exiled from the eternal providence. For while they supposed to lie hid in their secret sins, they were scattered under a dark veil of forgetfulness, being horribly astonished and troubled with strange apparitions. So yes, these Egyptians were also seeing, apparitions, spirits, if you will. Spirits were manifesting themselves. So, they were pretty much bugging out these Egyptians as well, because again, the Lord was plaguing Egypt, the land of Egypt and the Egyptians, because Pharaoh didn't want to let the nation of Israel go, And ultimately, the Lord did this, harden Pharaoh's heart just so that he can show his power, you know. Verse 4, for neither might the corner that held them keep them from fear, but noises as of waters falling down sounded about them, and sad visions appeared unto them with heavy countenances. So yes, they were hearing things as well, because this darkness was so thick, the Lord was pretty much plaguing them. They were hearing things that were not even there, or if they were there, but, they couldn't tell, because it was so dark. So they were hearing things, but they couldn't see, So the Lord was, he was jacking these Egyptians up. Verse 5, it says, no power of the fire might give them light, neither could the bright flames of the stars endure the lighting that horrible night. So yes, even if they were to light a torch, they still, wouldn't be able to see through that darkness, That's how thick it was, That's it, it was a really, really terrible, for the Egyptians. And that's the same thing that's going to happen to America now. Is it going to happen in that same fashion, where it's just going to be thick darkness? Who knows? Only time will tell. But, there will be apparitions, spirits will manifest themselves, demons, if you will manifest themselves and pretty much, bug people out, Certain people will see them and give up the ghost, Verse 6, only there appeared unto them a fire kindled of itself, very dreadful, for being much terrified, they thought the things which they saw to be worse than the sight they saw not. So yes, they were seeing these spirits, seeing these apparitions, these demons, and their appearance was terrible, Verse 7, as for the illusions of art magic, they were put down, and their vaunting in wisdom was reproved with disgrace. For they that promised to drive away terrors and troubles from a sick soul were sick themselves for fear, worthy to be laughed at. So yes, pharaohs, magicians and prognosticators, pretty much, these witches and warlocks, they were afraid themselves because they couldn't do anything, against the Lord. Certain plagues that the Lord would send, his magicians would, do the same thing. Like, when the Lord had Moses turn the rivers into blood, Pharaoh's Egyptians, turned water into blood as well. But there was nothing that they can do against this darkness that the Lord plagued the land of Egypt with, And that's why I said they were worthy to be laughed at, because no witchcraft, magic, or anything is above the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, He is a power to be feared. And reading these things are examples why just this one plague alone is why we should fear the Lord, He plagued these Egyptians with darkness and pretty much bugged them out, with hearing things that were either there or not there, and, they were losing their minds. Verse 9, and it says, for though no terrible thing did fear them, yet being scared with beasts that passed by and hissing of serpents, they died for fear, denying that they saw the air, which could of no side be avoided. So yes, they were also hearing animals, they were hearing water, as if it were a waterfall or a river. They were also hearing animals pass by them. You're hearing serpents, snakes hissing, but you can't see. And it says a lot of them died for fear, Salakia. And that's going to be the case for a lot of people here in Babylon. These people are going to die from fear alone, you know, before that great destruction comes. The Lord is going to plague America, as he did Egypt. And America also is known as spiritual Egypt, Revelation 11 and 8. This is verse 11. It says, "For wickedness condemned by her own witness is very timorous, and being pressed with conscience always forecasteth grievous things. For fear is nothing else but a betraying of the succors which reason offereth, and the expectation from within being less counteth the ignorance more than the cause which bringeth the torment. But they, sleeping the same sleep that night, which was indeed intolerable, and which came upon them out of the bottoms of inevitable hell." And this is one of the main points I want to make right here. Verse 15, "Were partly vexed with monstrous apparitions, and partly fainted, their heart failing them for a sudden fear, and looked not for." It's like, looked and not looked for, came upon them. So then, whosoever there fell down was straitly kept and shut up in the prison without iron bars, and pretty much again, they were seeing these spirits, these monstrous apparitions again, they were seeing demons, and just the sight of them, pretty much, these people were giving up to ghosts just from the presence of seeing these particular spirits. And that is going to be the case for a lot of these people in the time to come. Verse 17, "For whether he were husbandman or shepherd or a laborer in the field, he was overtaken and endured that necessity which cannot be avoided, for they were all bound with one chain of darkness, whether it were a whistling wind or melodious noise of birds among the spreading branches, or a pleasing fall of water running violently, or a terrible sound of stones cast down, or a running that could not be seen of skipping beasts, or a roaring voice of most savage wild beasts, or a rebounding echo from the hollow mountains. These things made them swoon for fear." So yes, this darkness was so thick, the Lord plagued them with, monstrous apparitions, as it says, these spirits, these terrible looking spirits. And then also they were hearing things, they were hearing water running, as if they were by a waterfall or a river that was running violently, or they were hearing all kinds of animals. But, the darkness was so thick they couldn't see whether something was there or not, And this is what's going to come to America. These modern day Babylonians, this is what's coming to you, The Lord is going to plague you with these same plagues, And this is going to be the case for a lot of people. So a lot of people are going to die before that destruction comes, And this is just a few ways that they're going to die. They're going to give up the ghosts for just being afraid alone, The plague of darkness. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from, and I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. Till the next time I say Shalom.